I'm curious, how many in this room were enriched by Barbara Claybaugh? Oh my gosh. Look around at all those hands. Thank you. Wow. Well, as you know, she loved to give of herself in a multitude of ways, large and small. Look at the slide. I don't know, can you see her face? She had such a beautiful smile. And I recently emailed her son Trevor and I said, Trevor, what was it like growing up with the prettiest mother in your class? And he emailed back, he said, I always wondered why my other friends wanted to come over to my house. So, although Barb and I grew up in the same area of Wisconsin, I never actually met her till she moved to Prescott. Our mothers, now well into their 90s, are still very good friends, and they encouraged us to get together. So we did, and a new friendship was born. Barb did not have an easy childhood. When she was only 8 years old, her family that seemed so happy and so lively suddenly fell apart. Her mother left her father. Barb and her little brother and her mother went to live in Michigan. Her older two siblings and father stayed in Wisconsin and moved in with their paternal grandparents. For a couple of years, the arrangement worked okay, but eventually it was too much for her mother, so Barb and her younger brother were sent to live with the Wisconsin side of the family. Even though her father, his parents, and the extended family all shared responsibilities raising the 4 young children in a loving environment, it must have been terribly confusing and sometimes frightening for her. When the grandparents went to Florida in the winter, the 4 children were left pretty much on their own after school while their dad was still at work. In summer, the girls and the youngest brother were dropped off at the Milwaukee Yacht Club for sailing school. Her big brother was given pocket change to ride the trolley all day. No wonder he became a railroad conductor and rode the rails for 40 years. Barb's older sister, Jolly, was only 12 years old when she did the food shopping and the cooking for the whole family. Eventually, her dad remarried a widow with 3 children of her own, and then they had another child together. Barb was just starting high school. Luckily, she was a star student and an awesome athlete. Sailing, tennis, downhill ski racing, swimming, cheerleading took up her time. She excelled in everything she did and created beauty wherever she went. I suspect it was during those powerful and painful formative years that Barbara's passion to help nurture and educate children was born. Out of great adversity and vulnerability, Barb learned to empower herself, and whenever possible, she sought to help others, especially women and children, to empower themselves. As an adult, she suffered another loss when her husband suddenly left her and their 2 adolescent sons. Barb went back to college and finished her degree while raising her 2 children. Lifelong learning became a passion. Immediately thereafter, she began working for the mayor of Milwaukee and was director of the huge City of Festivals parade. And 6 years later, she moved to California and was hired as an alumni director and development associate with the University of California. Her love of travel began to blossom as she organized and led alumni trips all over the world. And if you want a little bit of explanation, the picture on the upper right is Barb with her 2 sons and her daughter-in-law and then her grandchild, Liam. And of course, the middle one, she's sailing on Lake Michigan. There she's in a kayak on the Verde River. There she's holding my dear little Mr. Sweetie dog that she loved and who's no longer with us either. And then she's with Jolly, who helped me write the tribute, and her mother, Mary. I'm happy to say she and her mother, Mary, did reunite and had many good years together. Excuse me. So when she was in California. She later became associate dean with the business school of the University of California in Irvine. Her responsibilities included fundraising and recruitment of Asian students. Lots of Asian travel ensued, and student enrollment hit an all-time high. Her career teemed with success, and she always attributed a job well done to the team of people she had supporting her efforts, to the staff and dedicated volunteers around her. In 2005, Barbara was hired by Yavapai College to help raise capital funds for the Family Enrichment Center. She was very excited about the tremendous potential of the center. She loved talking about the different populations who would be served, and as was mentioned before, these would be student parents trying to get an education while simultaneously raising children, just as Barb had done herself long ago. Yavapai College students studying childhood development, staff members wanting a safe educational environment for their youngsters, and most of all, the local children, our hope for the future. Barbara loved children, and she wanted to do whatever she could to empower them and enrich their lives, and she did a lot. The children who so delightfully entertained us here today were here in part because of Barb. The beautiful Del E. Webb state-of-the-art building, which was constructed in part because of Barb. And all of us gathered here today to raise money for the Family Enrichment Center are here in part because of Barb. On behalf of Barb, I want to thank all of you for what you have done already to make the only lab school in Northern Arizona a reality.